My name is Monique Hawks, and today we'll be talking about the K through 12 Future Ready Schools framework, trends, and best practices. I chose this framework because I currently work inside of a K through 8 charter school and felt like this framework fit my. There are 8 gears inside of the K through 12 Future Ready framework, and they are as follows. The first being curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Second, personalized professional learning. Third, budget and resources. Fourth, community partnerships. Fifth, data and privacy. Sixth, robust infrastructure. Seventh, use of space and time. And eighth, collaborative leadership. In order to get the best understanding of the Future Ready framework, I feel it's very important to go into depth on these 8 gears and what they truly mean, starting with curriculum, instruction, and assessment. By definition, this is a robust digital citizenship curriculum that addresses 3 different themes: respect, education, and protection. To go into those a little bit more, respect encompasses digital access, etiquette, and law, making sure we're holding our digital network to a certain standard. Educate, that's digital communication, literacy, and commerce, making sure that everyone has the knowledge in our digital network. Lastly, protection, digital rights and responsibilities, safety and security, and health and wellness. It's very important that all of the information that's being shared is protected in a way that everyone feels safe to continue to share this information. There is personalized learning that happens within curriculum and instruction, and this brings problem-based challenges that ends up being driven by assessment. They all truly do work together. The second gear is personalized professional learning. So that really just means that educators own their professional growth. They are being given the agency and the tools and the resources to be able to create a path for themselves so that they can understand how to best service their students and best service their own personalized career goals. That means that we have PLNs, we have professional learning networks, we have peer goal reflection. Everything is based in collaboration because that is truly how our educators can really begin to ground themselves in what it is they see is important for their own careers and for their students as well. The third is budget and resources. So we want to develop short and long-term budgets. It's very important to have both because in the meantime, we have to have those short-term goals to get us to that long-term goal. And they have to align with the district because essentially that's where most of our money comes from. The other key factor here is to review the budget. You have to review the budget to make sure that the return on investment is high. Even though schools are meant to teach children, they also can be run as a business because you have to make sure that you're getting the return on your investment. The last for this slide is community partnership. The partnerships include formal, informal, local, and global collaborative relationships. So that really does span whatever area of a relationship you can think of. That's what's included in community partnerships. And they all should improve student outcomes. Everyone should have the students in mind so that when you work together, that is what you're grounding yourself in. You're preparing students for the real world because you're creating these networks that students can see for themselves and you're exposing them to these hands-on experiences. These type of community partnerships should also extend to the home. You should be able to have home engagement and you should be able to have that consistency when it comes to what students see at school and what they see at home. Continuing on with our other 4 gears of our Future Ready framework, beginning with data and privacy. So, when I think about data and privacy, I really see it as protection. I see it as using technology to securely protect, collect, analyze, and organize data. This means that we're following state law. Even though I work at a New Orleans charter school, it's very important that we are still following Louisiana state law. And most importantly, that we're collecting audits. There's a lot of student data that falls underneath just even my own New Orleans charter network. And so it's important that audits are conducted to ensure that nothing is being missed. There is no type of hacking or any type of scamming that's occurring. We are keeping students' data protected. We also have to instruct our educators to do the same. It's one thing to be digitally literate, it's an entire other thing to be data literate, making sure that you're continuing this analysis of assessments so that you can continue to keep student data private. The next is robust infrastructure. When I think about robust infrastructure, 2 themes come to mind: adequacy and high quality. You have to make sure that there's an adequate amount of devices and resources, but you also have to make sure that they're high quality and that the connection is strong. Having a strong internet connection means everything with a future ready framework, because you have to be able to be in the future using technology and being able to have access to it. You have to make sure that technical and instructional support is readily available. Unfortunately, technology is not perfect. Technology has its flaws. There's things that happen with technology that we do need the assistance with. So ensuring that there's an IT department available is very, very important. When we think about use of space and time, it is just as it's saying. We want to make sure that we're using the time and the space within schools that we've been given properly. You want to schedule that time. Be very intentional about making sure that students have enough time to engage in personalized learning. You also want to structure your assignments to ensure that there's extended time, to make sure that the bridge between school and home is very, very fluid, and that students have the ability to finish whatever they did not finish at school, they can finish it at home. Lastly, collaborative leadership. This means that we're maintaining a shared vision. The vision has to be shared because there's so many stakeholders involved. There's so many people that this affects. And it also has to be built on innovation. We can't be stuck in the past. That's the whole point of Future Ready, is that we're being innovative and we're remaining in the present and the future. Establishing metrics to gauge this progress is also very, very vital, because you have to make sure that whatever you're doing is working. And then you need to communicate that regularly to stakeholders so that they still feel invested in this. The Future Ready framework is truly fit for digital learning. And as we transition into thinking about what this looks like when it comes to digital learning, the first thing, obviously, is to leverage technology. You have to leverage technology in order to transition from the Future Ready part here, is that you need to put the pedagogy first. You need to think about the pedagogy first. Think about what Future Ready framework is having you think about when it comes to instruction, and then use technology to enhance student learning. Secondly, is to involve stakeholders. It's very important that stakeholders are a part of the conversation. They're a part of the decision making. When you think about what other people's opinions can put together, it really could build a greater idea that you never even knew about. And then once the decision is made, everyone feels included, everyone feels involved, and everyone feels like they have a part in this shared vision. The third, you need to support teachers in their digital toolkit. Even though most of us, being millennials or growing up in the technology age, and we have some familiarity with it, we don't know everything. So it's important that you're intentional about teaching your educators about how to use these digital tools and how to marry the Future Ready framework with digital learning. Fourth, have a clear definition of personalized student learning. Everyone's definition can look differently, but when you create your shared vision, you have to ensure that you know what it looks like for your particular school. When I was looking at the different case studies of how they were using the Future Ready framework, it always started with the demographics of the school, how many kids go there, what type of students go there, what type of income those students have. All of that is very important in thinking about the definition of personalized student learning. And finally, you have to analyze the gaps across the gears. I believe this is the easiest way to get started, because you can simply go and you can look at each of the different gears and think, where does my school fall? How does my school land when it comes to these different gears? And what type of goals can I set based on where my school is lacking in these different gears? After comparing the Future Ready framework to my own school, this is where I feel like it stands up. And I'll start with the strengths. So, curriculum instruction and assessment, I do believe, is a very big strength that my school aligns with when it comes to the Future Ready framework, because all teachers utilize digital tools such as Google Classroom, Nearpod, Prodigy, and Formative. They really do embed that into their daily practice. And I feel like students are receiving that level of access. The second is budget and resources. Every child has their own Chromebook, every teacher has their own Chromebook, and my school has the budget and the resources to fix and repair any type of technology that we need or we desire. The third is data and privacy. They really do require us to take these trainings seriously when it comes to hacking and scamming and making sure that we're aware. And then they use Google, which I feel is a very secure system, and we've never had any issues with it. The last is the use of space and time. So teachers are given the agency to decide how they want to create innovation within their classrooms. What type of project based learning do they want to incorporate? My school is very, very big on new ideas and new ways for students to learn. And they're always like highlighting and congratulating teachers on finding new ways to get students engaged, whether it be with digital learning, project based learning, problem based learning. Like they just are constantly empowering. The areas in which my workplace is lacking is personalized professional learning. Even though we are given the agency to do whatever we wish in our classrooms, we're not given the training to conduct it. So anything that teachers do, it is of their own recognizance, it is of their own level of agency and collaboration with other people. There is nothing that's provided from my leadership team. Even in the use of iReady, we use iReady on a daily basis, and there was no training on how to use it, how to incorporate it into your classroom. Anything the teachers do, it's because they thought of it themselves, which is powerful. However, I do believe it would be way more powerful if we were given specific tools, especially for novice teachers who may not have years of experience or don't have any knowledge of how to utilize these tools within their classrooms. The second area is the community partnerships. So I know that my school desires to have professional learning networks because they've mentioned it before, but they've never mentioned it in relation to digital learning or any specific area of innovation. I believe that it's just based in like lesson planning and discussing different students. Like there really isn't an intentionality when it comes to specifying what these PLNs would be for. So I don't feel like there really is a vision there. And when it comes to robust infrastructure, I feel like I've spoken about this before in my presentations, but our IT department only is comprised of two people for a three school charter network, and that's simply just not enough. So even though we have the budget and the resources to fix all of these computers, we don't have the man or woman power to really make it happen. And so I believe that that is something that's really lacking. Additionally, our internet connection is very, very slow. It's very poor. Sometimes it just goes out. So infrastructure is a very big issue. And lastly, collaborative leadership. As I alluded to earlier, there is no vision. There is no vision posted anywhere on our website. There's no vision shared with the staff as far as what they want digital learning to even look like, what they see in the future for digital learning or innovation. It really isn't specified. And so I do believe these are areas that if we were able to work on it, we would be a wonderful example for the Future Ready framework. In conclusion, I truly feel like the biggest statement is the world is ever changing. How will you keep up? The Future Ready framework truly does provide us with the blueprint, and it gives us everything that we need to ensure that the world that we are preparing our students for is one that is innovative. It's one that is bold. It's one that requires a lot of work. And I do believe if schools and organizations want to be in alignment with the future, that this framework is something that they could definitely utilize to become better.